The Radio Memories Network is brought to you in part by Liberated Syndication, podcast publishing made easy, libsyn.com. That's libsyn.com.
Continuing America's love affair with comedy and those lovable characters that made us laugh. We now go back to the early days of radio comedy and our imaginations with our featured comedy presentation.
The Aldrich family spotlighted the adolescent escapades of young Henry and the hijinks that ensued from simple things like a bicycle's flat tire or an overdue library book. The show also features one of the best-remembered openings from classic radio. Alice, Henry's stalwart mother, summons her son by yelling,
Henry Aldrich!
And Henry responds with a voice riddled with the crackle of puberty.
Coming, Mother!
The show's opening salvo had such an impact that some play on it still crops up occasionally in modern entertainment. The Aldrich family features as rich and colorful a cast as any show could. From Alice to Sam, Henry's father to Homer Brown, Henry's usual partner in Confusion Right, through to Kathleen Anderson, Henry's sweetheart, and his arch-nemesis George Bigelow. Each character was distinct and had a life beyond the gags and jokes, making this show both real and larger than life at the same time. Listeners identified with Henry and his family. Now for this week's episode of The Aldrich Family.
The Aldrich Family, based on characters originated by Clifford Goldsmith and starring Ezra Stone as Henry with Jackie Kelk as Homer.
Henry Aldrich!
Coming, Mother. And now for the Aldrich Family. Whatever and whenever the golden age was, it is less important to most people than the teenage. A time of life made notable by typical American boys like Henry Aldrich and all their mishaps. The scene opens in Mr. Aldrich's bedroom. It is just before breakfast.
But, Father, do you think that's fair?
Fair?
I don't mean to be rude, but do you?
Henry, every time you've asked to wear my tuxedo in the past, I've let you, haven't I?
Sure, Father, and that's just the point.
What is?
Isn't there such a thing as squatters' rights?
Squatters' rights would hardly apply to my... One for your dance tonight?
Father, there isn't a tuxedo my size left in town.
Sam! Henry!
Then I'm sorry, Henry.
But Kathleen's bought a new formal and everything.
Aren't you coming down to breakfast?
Yes, Alice. Come along, Henry.
Father, I know you have the kind of mind that once it's made up, dynamite couldn't change it, but could we do this?
Do what?
Fix it so that you can wear your tuxedo to that concert tonight with a clear conscience.
My conscience is clear.
Sure, but if I had my own tuxedo, you wouldn't have me hanging over you.
Are you proposing that I buy you one?
You mean you'd consider us?
Certainly not. Henry, what's wrong with your blue serge suit?
My blue serge? Father, I give you my word, there's only one guy in the whole class who dare show up in civilian clothes, and that's Willie Marshall. And, Father, he has no pride whatsoever.
Then there's nothing more that I can
now
suggest,
for this
Henry.
week's episode
And
of The Halls of
consider
Ivy.
the subject closed.
My goodness, your eggs are getting cold. Please sit down, both of you.
Mother, I couldn't eat a bite.
Dear, you can at least drink your juice.
Well, I'm all choked up.
Henry?
I'm drinking it, Father.
Sam,
Yes, Alice?
do you know what I was thinking about your tuxedo?
Alice, Henry and I have agreed to close the subject.
We have?
And please answer the phone, Henry.
Yes, Father.
Drink your juice, Sam.
Alice, I'm afraid I'm not very hungry either.
Hello?
Hi, Henry, this is Willie.
Who?
Willie Marshall. And listen, Henry, how are you fixed for formal shoes?
What?
Formal shoes. The closest thing I've got is a pair of black and white saddle shoes.
But, Willie,
I've always had trouble dancing in rubber soles. Have you got an extra pair of patent leathers?
No, I haven't.
Boy, except for those shoes, I'm practically set. I've got a stiff shirt, suspenders, and a real genuine cloth carnation.
Willie, you mean...
All I need now are shoes, black socks, cufflinks, studs, a muffler, and a girl.
Willie, you're actually wearing a tuxedo tonight?
Sure, it's the most important dance of the year. Do you think I want to stick out like a sore thumb?
Well, gee whiz, where'd you get it?
From a waiter I know who's off duty tonight.
Oh, boy. You mean I'm going to be the only one there in just a blue serge suit?
You are? Henry, don't you have any pride whatsoever?
Listen, Willie, goodbye. I've got to go back to work.
On what?
Never mind. Goodbye. Father, could I have your permission to reopen the subject, providing I use a completely new angle?
Agnes, calm down. You're on the phone.
Calm down, Homer. How can I calm down when I'm miserable?
You mean your parents won't buy you a new formal?
No, they said the minute I stop growing in all directions, they'll get me one.
When will that be?
Well, it won't be before the dance. I know that.
Gee whiz, I've got my tuxedo all pressed and everything.
You have?
Sure, it's been under my mattress for a week. Look, Agnes, what's wrong with your old formal?
Homer, it's prehistoric.
What?
Sure, it's got a neckline that practically comes up to my chin. And I don't want to stick out like a sore thumb.
But, Agnes, what are we going to do?
I'll just have to keep working on my folks till I wear them down.
I know, but...
The only thing is, Homer, if I do talk them into buying a new dress, I can't get them to give me money for the tickets, too.
What? But, Agnes, that's our arrangement. I take you out and you foot the bill.
Homer, can't you make a sacrifice just this once?
How can I? I'm broke.
Why not ask your father for some money?
Agnes, I have a bargain with my father.
What bargain?
I don't mention money, and he doesn't mention my report card.
Look, Homer, if I hang up now, I think I can corner my father in the living room. Goodbye.
Bye.
Homer, would you be willing to sign this protest?
Henry, can't you let me worry in peace?
But listen, it says, whereas and hereto, all in sundry know the country club gets pretty darn stuffy. To heck with tuxedos, and let's make this a simple dance where nobody dresses.
You don't want it formal?
Boy, have you ever tried putting on a tuxedo? You finally get the stiff shirt on, see? And then you have to lie on your back to put on your shoes.
But, Henry...
And by the time you're through, you're no good for anything. Sign here.
Well, before I do, I'd like to make just one minor change.
What?
Instead of all that junk about tuxedos, just say, whereas and hereto, we think it's a disgrace to charge money for tickets.
What?
Gee whiz, the dance is for members of our own class, isn't it? It's like charging to get into your own house.
But, Homer, I've got tickets.
And I've got a tuxedo.
Oh.
Look, Henry, how'd you like to do me a big favor?
What favor?
All you have to do is point out to my father that if your father gave you money for tickets, the least my father can do is get in the spirit.
Well...
Will you do that, Hen?
Sure, Homer, old-timer.
You will?
And while I'm doing that to your father, would you point out just one thing to my father?
Look at me, Father. Look at me. Isn't it heavenly?
What is that you're wearing, Kathleen?
My new evening gown for the dance tonight. Do you like it?
Where's the rest of it?
That's all there is.
What?
Isn't it heavenly?
Heavenly is hardly the word.
So, Father, would you be willing to point out to Mother that her pearls are just what I need to round me out?
Kathleen, you don't need rounding out. You need covering up. I want you to wear that lace shawl your grandmother gave you for Christmas.
A lace shawl?
Around your shoulders.
But, Father, it'll ruin the whole effect.
That's just what I had in mind.
Father.
Kathleen, I will not have you catching pneumonia in public.
But I've been taking vitamins. Don't you think that's enough protection?
I do not.
But, Father, if I go to the dance all covered up with a shawl, I'll stick out like a sore thumb.
Mr. Brown, is that you under the hood of your car?
What's that? Oh, it's you, Henry.
Yes, sir.
Hand me that small wrench, will you?
Sure, here.
Thanks. Well, what can I do for you, Henry?
For me? Why, I just happened to be casually passing by, and I said to myself, why not talk the whole thing over with good old Mr. Brown?
Talk what over?
Homer.
Oh. You're standing on my pliers.
Oh. Gee, poor kid. I keep thinking of him in that dance tonight. Everybody who's everybody is there, see? And where's poor old Homer?
Where?
That's just it. The biggest affair of the whole term. And he hasn't enough money to pay for his tickets.
Oh.
The poor kid. Doesn't it touch you?
It does not. It's his own fault. He spent every last cent he had in the world on a pair of waterproof rawhide boots.
Well, gee whiz, Mr. Brown, even if he did go overboard for a practical thing like waterproof boots, do you think you ought to make him suffer for it? I mean, boy, we all make mistakes.
You don't say.
Sure. Even I make them. Gee whiz, do you know what I did once?
What?
I put a dime in a peanut machine, see, and you know what came out?
What?
3-cent stamps. So you see, those things happen to the best of us.
Henry, it isn't easy for a father to teach his son that money doesn't grow on trees. But it has to be done. Now, if he's going to that dance, he'll have to dig up the ticket money himself.
But, Mr. Brown...
I have to think of his character.
But, gee whiz, Mr. Brown, think of me.
You?
Sure. When the band strikes up the first waltz, and I look out the window, and there's Homer. Poor kid. All dressed up in his tuxedo and no tickets. Staring in at us, with his nose pressed up against the window. Boy, I won't be able to dance a step.
You don't say.
See, was now that I think of him, poor kid, I've got half a mind to give Homer my tickets.
And not go yourself?
Yes, sir. I've got half a mind.
Henry, did Homer ask you to speak to me?
Homer? Well, gee whiz. Mr. Brown, I give you my word. Look, here are my 2 tickets. You give them to Homer.
You really mean that, Henry?
Sure.
You're positive?
Positive.
Well, thank you very much.
Mr. Brown, you mean you're really going to take them?
What's the name, mister?
Aldrich. And could you have it pressed by 3 o'clock?
3? Look, mister, I've got every tuxedo in Centerville in my shop.
Yes, I know. Well, as long as I have it in time for the concert tonight. Oh, and here, I'll pay for it now. Send it to 117 Elm Street.
Okay, mister, I'll try. But I've only got 2 hands, you know.
Yes, I know. Thanks very much.
Well, gee whiz. Hi, Mr. Aldrich.
Hello, Homer.
Boy, isn't that fantastic?
I beg your pardon?
Here I've been looking all over Centerville for you, and gee whiz, here you are.
You've been looking for me?
Yes, sir. I thought we might have a little chat.
Chat?
Yes, sir.
You and I?
Yes, sir.
Homer, I'm afraid I'm in a hurry. I'm driving out to see a client.
That's swell. I'll go with you.
What?
Then we can chat as we drive. All said, Mr. Aldrich. Mush.
What did you say?
Mush. That's Eskimo for let's start.
I see. Homer, what's on your mind?
On my mind? I look like I have something on it?
Frankly, it's hard to tell.
I just thought we'd have a chat. How are you, Mr. Aldrich?
Fine.
That's fine.
Well, now that we've had our chat, shall I let you off at the next corner?
Before I drop a hint about the sale...
What sale?
Why, the one the Emporium is having on practically everything.
You don't say.
Yes, sir. Especially tuxedos.
Tuxedo?
Yes, sir. Boy, if a person wanted to buy one, now's the time.
I see. Well, thank you very much, Homer, but I really don't need one.
Mr. Aldrich, I didn't mean you. I meant Henry.
I know you did.
Mr. Aldrich, why not look at it this way? Don't you want Henry to get married and get out of the house someday?
I certainly do.
Well, he'll need a tuxedo for the ceremony.
When that time comes, I'll scrape up the money somewhere. Homer, do you realize I'm driving all the way to Middletown?
You are? As far as that?
Yes, and it'll probably be several hours before I come back, so maybe it'd be best if I dropped you at the next corner.
Oh, no, Mr. Aldrich, I'll go along.
But, Homer...
From the looks of things, it may take me at least a couple of hours to have this little chat.
Hello there, Henry. What'll you have?
Gee, Mr. DeHaven, I don't know if I'm in the mood for anything.
Mr. DeHaven, do you happen to have a set of cufflinks and studs for as little as $1?
Cufflinks and studs?
That's one thing I haven't been able to dig up.
I'm afraid I don't carry them, Willie.
Oh. Say, Henry, would you mind if I have a few dances with your girl tonight?
My girl?
That's another thing I haven't been able to dig up.
Willie, I may not even be going to the dance tonight.
You won't? Gee, when we're having a swell orchestra and everything?
I know.
I hear they're even working their way through college. That's how good they are. Well, I'd better try someplace else for those studs. Hi, Homer.
Listen, Homer, where have you been?
Chatting with your father, and that's the last time I'll ever talk to a lawyer in my life, even socially.
Listen, Homer, speaking of father...
Boy, is he tricky. I had him to the point where any minute I thought he was going to say, okay, I'll buy Henry a tuxedo.
Yeah?
And the next thing I knew, there I was lending you mine.
What?
I'll never know how he did it.
Homer, your father did the same thing. I'm giving you my tickets.
What?
Gee whiz, we're right back where we started from.
Only vice versa.
Boy.
Henry, why should we both be miserable? Why don't we flip for it?
Flip?
Sure, the winner gets the tux and the ticket.
Double or nothing?
Sure.
It's a deal. I've got a coin in my pocket.
I thought you were broke.
I am. This is a streetcar token. Ready?
Sure, flip it. Heads.
Tails. What does it say, Homer? What does it say?
Not good after June 1st.
1939. Homer, that's tails. I win, Homer. I win the tuxedo.
Boy.
I'm all set.
I don't know how I'll ever break this to Agnes.
Here's a double cherry, Henry. It'll cheer you up.
Well, give it to Homer, Mr. DeHaven. He's the one who needs cheering up. I'll just run over to your house, Homer, and pick up your tux.
Okay. Have a good time, Hen.
Homer, you look in worse shape than Henry did.
I know. Boy, just two sides to a coin, and I had to pick heads. I could have just as easily said, wait a minute.
What's wrong?
Since when is not good after June 1st, 1939? Tails.
What?
Listen, Henry, you double-crosser, come back with my tuxedo.
Getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. Since Henry had no tuxedo for tonight's big dance and Homer had no tickets, they flipped for both with a streetcar token. Henry won, but Homer feels that he'd been outsmarted, if not cheated. The scene opens in the Aldrich front hall. It is later the same afternoon.
Come on, Henry, hand it over.
Boy, Homer, are you a sore loser?
Sore loser? Since when is not good after June 1st, 1939? Tails.
Since 1939.
Listen, Henry, take my tuxedo off that hall banister and hand it over, or I'll turn you over to the police.
The police? The police? On what charge?
Gambling with a minor. They know when I do tricks.
Tricks?
Henry?
Oh, gee whiz. Yes, Mother?
You weren't being rude to Homer, were you?
Rude? Gee whiz, no. Was I, Homer?
No, Mrs. Aldrich. He was very politely pointing out to me that I'm pig-headed.
Boys, I think you'd both better go in the kitchen and cool off with a glass of milk.
Yes, Mrs. Aldrich.
Yes, Mother. Come on, Homer, old pal.
Sure, Hen, old-timer.
And, Henry, you might run around the corner to your Aunt Harriet. She's making chocolate chip cookies.
Sure, Mother. I'd be glad to for good old Homer.
Sam, where are you?
Coming, Alice.
Dear, I've got to have a talk with you.
Of course, dear. Alice, why didn't you tell me my tuxedo had come back from the tailor's?
I didn't know it had.
Oh, here it is, hanging on the banister.
Oh, I guess Mary must have answered the door. Sam, evidently Homer feels he was tricked into lending Henry his tuxedo for tonight.
Alice, I give you my word, Homer practically insisted on Henry wearing it.
But, dear, the whole thing is seriously affecting their friendship.
Very well, Alice. Very well. I'll just take Henry downtown this afternoon and buy him a tuxedo.
Oh, no, dear.
Why not?
Henry'll just feel you're backing down. It'll weaken his character.
Well, what do you suggest?
Sam, who's the man in the family?
Let me at that phone.
Number, please.
Elm 997.
Elm 997. Why are you calling the Browns?
To talk to Will.
Well, just remember the important thing is to get both boys to the dance without spoiling them. I'll take your tuxedo up to our room.
Hello?
Will, this is Sam.
Sam, what's this I hear about Henry not giving Homer his ticket?
That's why I called, Will. Evidently the boys have changed their minds.
You mean Homer's going to pester me for the money again?
Exactly.
Sam, if I give in, he'll just get the idea he can wrap me around his little finger.
Will, I've got the perfect solution.
You have, Sam? What is it?
Well, I'll buy Homer his ticket, you see.
Yes.
And you buy Henry his tuxedo.
Say.
In that way, we both save face.
Sam, that's wonderful. Why, Why didn't I think of that? You buy Homer the tickets, and I buy Henry the... Wait a minute.
What's wrong?
Sam, you can't pull a fast one like that on an old bird like me. The tickets cost $2, but a Tuxman costs $50.
But, Will...
I'm not that anxious to save face, Sam. Goodbye.
Well, wait, naturally. I'll pay for the tuxedo. Will? Well,
Sam, where are you going?
I'm going to put on my rubbers, and then I'm going out and send a telegram.
A telegram?
Mother, here are Aunt Harriet's cookies.
Well, take them into Homer. You're sending a telegram to whom, Sam?
Homer, old-timer, I've got... Well, I'll be darned. Listen, Homer, come in here.
Did you get the cookies?
Never mind the cookies. Where'd you hide it?
Hide what? Listen, Henry, who took my tuxedo off the banister here?
Homer, you aren't fooling me. You waited until I left the house, and then you sneaked it outside, didn't you?
Boy, are you an actor. I know darn well you've hidden it somewhere. Come on, where is it?
Where is it yourself?
Henry, stop shoving.
Stop shoving yourself.
Henry.
Homer?
Yes, young man?
Do you have a tuxedo that was brought in here to be pressed under the name of Aldrich?
Aldrich, I think so.
Oh, boy, I knew it.
Knew what?
Oh, nothing. I've come to pick it up.
Right here on the right. Here you are. It's all paid for.
It is? Boy, that's swell. Hey,
What's wrong?
are you sure this is my tuxedo? It looks 4 sizes too large.
Young man, would you mind standing back from this pressing machine?
Well, let me try on the jacket. There, look at the way it swims on me.
Don't you want to be nice and casual?
Sure, but I don't want to overdo it. Suppose I'm dancing with Agnes and she turns me around fast. Where's the tuxedo?
What?
And even more important, where am I?
Look, young man, there are 75 dress suits on those racks that belong to the symphony orchestra, and they all have to be pressed by 7:30. Now, will you please stand back?
But could I prove you made a mistake?
Prove it.
Sure. You see this button?
Looks fine.
That's just it. My jacket didn't have one.
You don't say.
Sure, it was off.
You don't say. Come here.
What are you going to do?
There.
Hey!
Now it's your jacket.
Now, wait a minute.
Look, if I take the suit in for you, will you go away and let me press the orchestra?
Well, okay.
Just slip the trousers on in the back room.
Okay, but wouldn't it be easier to find my own tuxedo?
That is your tuxedo. And to think I left a good job on a steamroller for this. Yes, sir?
Excuse me, but do you have a tuxedo you're pressing under the name of Brown?
Brown?
Gee, I was sure Homer took his tuxedo and brought it down here to be pressed.
Boy, just look at these pants. If I pull them up, they'll cover my stiff shirt.
Homer, so I was right.
Listen, Henry, this'll teach you not to try to outfox me.
Homer, I won this tuxedo fair and square. Now hand over that jacket.
Boys.
Henry, let go of that sleeve.
Let go yourself.
Boys.
Let go.
Boys.
Let go.
Oh, boy.
Catch me.
Look out for that rack.
Homer!
Oh, no. Oh, the orchestra, the orchestra. Look what you've done to the orchestra.
Look, Mother.
Very nice, dear.
I do? I really do? Even sitting down? Boy, imagine finally getting a tuxedo of my own.
Yes, imagine.
The only thing is, why do you suppose Uncle John wired that money for a birthday present today?
Why,
my birthday isn't until next month.
He probably wanted to be sure he didn't forget.
I know, but gee whiz, he never gave me anything like $50 before.
Well...
you see, Uncle John suddenly sold that copper mine stock of his.
Gee whiz, who did he unload that on?
Why,
his town hall. Just drop us at the front entrance, Henry.
Yes, Mother. Gee, you're sure it won't inconvenience you to loan me the car, Father?
No, we'll get a ride home with someone.
Thanks a lot. Gee, a tuxedo and a car. Boy, this is going to be the biggest night of my life. Good night.
Have a good time, Henry.
Good night, son.
Sam, I'm very proud of you.
What for?
Dear, you know very well.
Alice, it really wasn't anything. If they ever do find copper in that mine, I'll make a fortune out of that stock. Let's go in. The concert's due to start.
You know, Sam, I still think you should have gotten yourself a tuxedo when you went down with Henry.
Alice, for the last time, this tuxedo's all right. It's just comfortably snug.
If you say so, dear, just be careful when you sit down. Let's go to our seats.
That's strange.
What's wrong?
I'm positive I put the tickets in my jacket this morning.
Sam, you mean you don't have them?
Let's not get excited, Alice. Maybe someone found them and turned them in at the ticket window. Oh, excuse me, mister.
Yes, sir?
Did someone turn in 2 lost tickets, 3rd row center?
No, they haven't. I'm sorry.
Sam!
Alice, I can buy other tickets.
As a matter of fact, I do have 2 left in the last row.
Sam, take them or we'll miss the first number.
There's no rush, madam. We're starting a half hour late.
A half hour late? Why?
Well, the orchestra had some difficulty with their dress suits tonight. They're still getting them sorted. Here you are, sir. $4, please.
Hey, Agnes, look who's here.
Hi, Mrs. Aldrich. Hi, Mr. Aldrich. How do we look?
Lovely, dear. Is that a new formal?
I'll say I got up 5 minutes before the store closed.
You don't say.
Yeah, my father finally agreed my request was perfectly reasonable and told my mother to buy me the formal before he went out of his mind.
But why aren't you two at the dance?
We're making a real evening of it. The concert and then the dance.
You don't say.
Have some popcorn.
Popcorn?
That's the only way I can enjoy concerts.
Homer, you mean your father finally gave in and bought you the tickets for the dance?
No, the tailor did.
What's that?
Sure. All I had to do was promise to use the tailor shop on the other side of town from now on.
And he threw in tickets for the concert, too?
No. Gee, it's the strangest thing how I got those. I just happened to reach into the inside pocket of my jacket, and there they were.
What?
3rd row center.
Sam.
Homer, isn't that tuxedo a little loose on you?
Gee, you should have seen it before the tailor sewed me together.
And was there a button missing on your tuxedo jacket?
Gee whiz, how did you know?
Never mind. Will you step into the washroom with me for a minute?
Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with your favorite youngster, his family, and his pals. The Aldrich Family, starring Ezra Stone, is written by Clifford Goldsmith.